We ended up throwing up our arms on the couch, screaming, and we all walked away with a roughly.
What's the craziest thing you spent your winnings on?
I feel like a lot of the times I'll instantly
That's awesome. What advice do you guys have?
I'd say never get too emotional about it.
And I'd say number one advice would be
I'm going to jump straight into quick bio on both you guys, and you correct me if any of this is wrong, but team of two, TheParlayCafe boys, running their DubClub business, both got started. They were roommates at UMass, and I believe Dre, finance background and performing arts, if I'm not mistaken, and David, sports management and a little bit of marketing splashed in there, social media, kind of a jack of all trades. Awesome duo. Dre, first generation, his father from Rome. Dre still has family over in Italy. I'm waiting for the invite to do a little vacation over there. I think that'll be a blast. And David, originally from Boston, now living in NYC. I am still very curious where his sports allegiances lie, but I'm sure he's rooting for the Celtics. Guys, we're going to jump right in. So I'm going to get a couple of questions set up for you, but I want to start with the general background. All successful entrepreneurs have a great origin story or some big bang moment that happened. Tell me about your guys' first big sports betting memory.
Yeah, so I mean, I can take this one, Dre. Back, I think it was the start of 2022. Dre and I, we were roommates in college, always watched sports together, always been following along every league, we're on it. And then sports betting, they started pushing apps in the state of New York. And, we downloaded a few of them, had some free plays, and we like to think we're confident in our picks. So one of the first games it was the 49ers versus the Rams. And we had taken Cooper Kupp, anytime touchdown, Deebo Samuel, anytime touchdown, and the 49ers money line. And threw the $100 free bet on there, just, we're going to watch the game anyway. And not only did the intensity of the entire game completely spike, but we ended up hitting the bet, throwing up our arms on the couch, like screaming, and we all walked away with a roughly $1,200. And we were like, why don't we do this more? We are confident in our picks. And from there, we just started getting into, we always liked to say our picks, but now we could do it on an actual app and share it with people and collaborate. And, it was almost like a viewing party. And after doing that for X amount of time, a few months, we have a group chat amongst our friends, and we'd be like, oh, this is who we should ride with. And we'd have like debates, almost building like a community amongst our friends. And then Dre and we just sort of had some fun with it and put our picks out onto the internet to see if, we could see what other people think. And, the rest kind of started snowballing itself, and the rest was history from there.
How long ago was this, guys?
I think we started posting them like videos of the picks January 2023. So maybe coming up on a year and a half.
Yeah. And we were that in sequence that I just described, that was even earlier. That was probably January, February timing of 2022 when sports betting was sort of just evolving in New York. So we were kind of doing that amongst our friends for roughly 10 months to a year, and then started to be like, hey, let's get out there and see what other people think.
Totally. The Parlay Cafe started, it was the name of our group chat, basically, with a few of our friends. And that's where we'd send out all our slips and all our picks. And it started like with that bet with Dave, was just, they were giving out all the sign up bonuses. I remember we were just hopping on all the different sports books because they're all trying to get you to sign up. So it was just like, wow, wait, but this was free money they gave us. We put it on this parlay, and now we just withdrew like, what, $1,200? Like, this is pretty sick. I think this is going to be something we're doing in the future for sure.
That's awesome. So we can thank the state of New York for the origin of the Parlay Cafe, huh?
Totally.
More or less.
That is amazing. When you guys, so the deposit you got that turned into over $1,000, was there anything? Was there research or anything that went into that, or were you guys just truly cooking it up together and like it was gut feel and hey, look, let's just toss this out there, and that was the moment that you realized, whoa, this could be something. Like, let's build off of this.
I think it started as us just watching the games, just sort of having a gut feeling. Like at that point, we weren't like diving into the game logs yet and looking at all the player stats. It was kind of just we watch every week. We kind of have an idea of what we think is going to happen. And I feel like we started getting more into the stats and everything. We started posting them publicly, and obviously we want to give the reasoning behind the bets. But it started
Yep.
more just for fun. Even in college, we're roommates every year at school, watching the Patriots at UMass. Obviously, everyone's a huge Pats fan.
When Tom Brady was there, of course, I'm sure.
Totally.
After
Yeah.
that, you guys, the Patriots fan.
Literally freshman year is when they beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. It's just, craziest night
Crazy.
ever.
One of the
The
craziest nights ever. We were
interception.
taking like everybody was rally shirting. We were taking off hats, taking off shirts, goal line
Oh my
stops,
gosh.
screaming.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah, my memory of, because I'm also a Patriots fan. I don't know if you guys knew this, but my memory was the Patriots Falcons. If you guys remember when they were down,
Oh, who never forget that?
28-3.
What was that one?
unreal. It's 28-3. I literally took a nap. I fell asleep. I woke up and it was a 3-point game. I was like, what in the world is going on?
Crazy. Oh my
That was
God.
epic. Julian Edelman's, that was, I'm pretty sure he was like, he had double concussions. That was just,
Sorry. Do you watch the roast?
say it again.
The Tom Brady roast? Did you watch it?
Oh yeah, I did. I watched some of that. That was intense. What did you guys think of that?
I thought it was super entertaining. I didn't know what to expect, but they
Right.
went for it. They went for it.
Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. I mean, I'm a big fan of the roast regardless. I was surprised that they brought an athlete, let alone Tom Brady, and had other athletes do it. But I thought it was good fun, although maybe some of the jokes didn't land exactly how they anticipated.
Some of them were pretty gnarly, like the Giselle ones in particular. My gosh. Those are
Yeah,
brutal.
they were.
What'd you guys think when did you watch the whole thing? Did you watch till the end?
Yeah,
So you saw his rebuttal and him kind of go after it at the end?
yeah. I thought he crushed it at the
He
end. He
did.
definitely had an uppercut on everybody and had his ammo. He was waiting to say that the whole night. You can tell.
Yeah.
He was just waiting.
Yeah, I thought the
He's
comedian
taking his notes, right?
Yeah, right.
People on the list.
no,
Yeah, that was pretty incredible at the end, where it just felt like that was like fourth quarter. Tom Brady, 2.5 minutes left, has to lead the game-winning drive, and he just locked in.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Dre, do you have a different memory of that first big moment, or is it like your perspective? Because it sounds like you guys were together, which is
We're
awesome.
together for that one. I'm trying to think of maybe another recent one to then. I remember we were watching the UFC like on that staircase outside. Dave, do you remember that?
Oh, that was awesome.
Hey, what did I
Islam
take?
Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira. UFC.
Yeah.
It was October 2020.
I ripped like a round two. I think I ripped like a round two submit. I had nothing on it, and like everyone was super into it. I was like, oh, I need to put something on this fight. And last second, with like round two submission. I don't remember how much I put on it, and it hit. And we were just going nuts on like this sidewalk in the East Village.
We-
We're like, what? These guys are hammered. We're like, no. We're just hammered off. We're hitting our bet. Let's go.
we were at a bar and they were showcasing UFC and we were watching the entire card. Again, we're sports nerds. Like, this is what we do. This is like going back to even what you said when we first started. Like, was it just stats or intuition? We were just using intuition. We're like, we watch enough sports. This is what we think is going to happen. As we started posting videos, you want to have some reasoning behind your pick. So if they don't hit, justified. But on that pick he's talking about, that was pure heart. And we were at a bar and it
And
was
the
supposed
TV
to.
shut down. Remember the
Yeah,
TV
TV shut down, and so we're running
We
in
were
the
on like a
streets looking
snoop
for another
outside the
bar.
watching on our phone and just placing bets. It was hilarious. Oh my god.
At a certain point, you guys look at enough numbers where you could just trust your gut. You just like you
Yeah.
know where especially at UFC, you know where the fight is going. You can just feel it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, all right. So we're gonna shift gears a little bit and talk more on the CEO front. I think for me and you, level setting. You guys know this, but running a business, being the CEO, you guys the buck starts and stops with you, quite literally. If it weren't for you guys, you wouldn't be really generating sales. You'd have some coming in through DubClub, but you guys are sort of responsible for truly selling the vision of what you're building and the service that you're offering. Let's say hypothetically that I am somebody that is not familiar with your business. I don't really know much about the Parlay Cafe. How would you convince me to join your DubClub?
Can I start, Dre?
Go for it.
I would say, it's a community that's worth being part of, and it's only growing as the space continues to grow. Sports betting is a very, hasn't really fully grown to what it can be, and the demand is already skyrocketing. So to jump into a community and be with like-minded people in such a niche audience, being able to bounce ideas off people, making friends. We've had people in our Discord make friends and do their own thing and become social media friends, like all because they watch sports and they chat every day. And I think there's something special about that. And with the space only growing, I think it's no better time to jump in than now.
Totally. And I think we try to make it more of a community aspect where it's not always just like one way we're setting out our picks and that's it. We try to do like fun challenges with everybody, like giveaways within the community, like shout out other people that are giving parlays in the Discord. Because like if you watch our content, we try to make it, obviously we want to hit all the bets, but we also want to have fun with it, which is why we do a lot of ladder challenges and we roll over the winnings a lot just to try and keep it entertaining. Because we started sports betting just to have fun. Because if we know we're going to be watching the games, so we might as well put together a parlay that we can all kind of sweat out together. And sort of that's the whole idea. We figured if we have a Discord and we build the community, we can all sweat these things out together. Because we were just posting the videos for a year just because we enjoyed doing it before trying to do a Discord, a Dub Club, and all that. And we realized once we launched it, just sweating out the bets became that much more intense because now everyone can talk while the bets are happening. Like, it's just multiplies how much fun it is. And it's just been awesome.
Yeah,
How much
it's
do
almost
you
like a
guys
team
charge?
together. Sorry about that, Ryan. What'd you say?
How much do you guys charge? Like, what's the like product breakdown, and how do you think about, your guys the price point and all that?
We just went with $7.99 a month. We kept it pretty simple. We figured that seems reasonable. I think it's like 25 cents a day for what we're doing.
Yeah.
Like half the price of like a Netflix membership, and for like not only just the quality of the bets and the stats we're providing, but also the fun of it, like the entertainment aspect. We're constantly putting out the content to go along with it. Then you also have the community, and the giveaways and the contests. We think there's just a lot of fun aspects. For $7.99, we think it's an absolute steal.
Definitely. And we also like to, I mean, we've been in those shoes too, where, no one wants to go online and be like, oh, I'm very pressured into buying. But like with us, like Dre said, 25 cents a day, over the course of a month, you could be making friends, watching sports, have people to watch sports with. I know there's been even nights where like I'm in my apartment and nobody's like my roommate's gone, everybody's gone, but I go on the Discord and I feel like I'm watching the game with like 50 other people. And it's just something
Yeah.
special about that being a lifelong sports fan.
Do you guys think that COVID had something to do with that, with the comfortability of people interacting online and feeling like that's actually a place to make friends and hang out?
Yeah, without a doubt. I think a lot of people they're very comfortable in their own house, which has its pros and has its cons. You're comfortable, you're in control, but at the same time, maybe you're less inclined to go actually meet people. So you can do it from the comfort of your own home, and still feel like you're getting that connection with others. I think it's a cool experience.
Yeah. So if I were to describe your guys' Dub Club in 3 words, in terms of like descriptors, what would you guys use to describe in 3 words?
I'd go. I mean, Dre, I don't want to take all 3, so we can go one for one. But I would say
Yeah,
first one.
you guys could each give your own answer too.
I would say entertaining, passionate, and unevolved. I think we're currently growing. We're only where our vision stands and where we're currently at, and we'd like to think we're in a good spot. But we have such a big vision for all of this, and I think like the best is yet to come, and we're still happy with where we're at. And passion because Dre and I talk sports all day. We're best friends. We have a dynamic that you can't really teach or buy just being coworkers. Like Dre and I known each other for a decade plus, and I think there's just a lot of synergy.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, this version of the Discord and everything we're offering through Dub Club, I imagine is just going to be, we'll look back on this and be like, wow, this was so basic compared to sort of all the things I feel like we're going to add to it over time. Like, we want to be doing this for like 10 plus years or who knows how long and just keep kind of adding to it. Yeah, just second. I think Dave nailed it, honestly, with those 3 words.
This will be a good one then, because you guys are you're getting my head spinning here with like interesting questions to go down. But let's say you guys are in an investor meeting and I'm an investor and I'm saying, hey, I am interested in hearing why I should give you guys money to pursue this vision. What's the vision? Talk me through it.
I mean, Dre, if you want to start, or I can, either or. We can pick.
I think the long-term vision is just to grow the community to the point where it's like kind of it feeds into itself, where it's not even just me and Dave giving the picks. It's almost like people look to certain people within the community. We highlight people that are hot and hitting their bets. Maybe people are specializing in certain like sports and they're sending out their picks. and you get it to a point where you don't even need us posting the pics or the videos, and it just becomes its own thing. And it's like an actual cafe. Like we always say, like the
Yeah.
Parlay Cafe. Imagine we had like a coffee shop with a bunch of TV screens, like the betting lines right next to the TV. And that's kind of the whole vibe. People go there just to see what people are betting on, get some advice on picks, sweat it out together. And that's sort of like, it's the virtual cafe. It's the Parlay Cafe. And I think that's sort of the long-term vision of it.
Hey, if I were here and I was giving you guys money, I'd say, why don't you go open a physical Parlay Cafe?
One day.
That's the long term. That's the long term goal.
Brick and mortar retail. Get
Yeah,
some,
right.
some coffee served up with TVs all around and the sports book clerk at the front. Yeah, I think that's in your guys' future.
Yeah, I think Dre nailed it. Just basically it's like an online coffee shop, and we want it to be a brand where people recognize. Like we want people to see whether it's our logo or see our face or just hear like the term even Parlay Cafe and just know what it is. And not necessarily specifically me and Dre, but just build a team with it. A bunch of sports fans and just keep growing together.
I love how community centric you guys are, because at the end of the day, betting is so social. And I'll get to some of these statistics later, but 75% of people, 3 in 4 people bet on sports because it's fun. Like that's why they do it. And that's why we do it.
Not to say, same.
Cafe. That's what the cafe is about.
Exactly.
All right, I'm going to keep moving on because I want to make sure we get into some fun questions here. We're going to move into the betting section, which it probably feels like we were already in for a bit, but I'll work through the next line of questioning, and we'll start off with some context for folks listening. You guys make more money betting on sports than the average person. You also run a very successful premium sports content creation business where people, as you described, pay you to be part of your community. I have 3 questions on this topic, mainly, and we can go down rabbit holes. But number 1, with your guys' business owner hat on, what do you spend your profits on? Do you save it? Do you spend it on specific things to reinvest in areas? How do you guys think about sort of operating the business in that sense?
I mean, Dre could probably speak more on this, but I would say, Dre, keep me in check here, but we're really big into reinvesting back into the business. You know, we like if we're making X amount, we like giving it back to the community and growing, whether it's through giveaways, contests, just getting people involved. Dre, if you want to take it from here.
Totally. No, I agree. We, at this point, like we said, we want to grow it for years and years to come. So like if we're doing giveaways and contests and giving it away in whatever way we can, just to make the community even better, that's definitely a priority. Beyond that, I mean, just living in New York is definitely kind of expensive. So I feel like a lot just goes to our day-to-day living. I don't know if we're doing anything too crazy with it. Definitely saving some, as we should, as anyone should. Making more parlays to bet with it, of course. Just a Wi-Fi.
Reinvesting in the business, more parlays. I like
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
That's the product. You're investing in the product. Yeah, that's fantastic. So it sounds like you guys do a really good job taking what you're making from the business, reinvesting it back in the community in the form of giveaways and in the form of really putting your money where your mouth is, making sure that you're providing the content that people pay for.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And maybe eventually bringing more people onto the team, and who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. We'll talk a little bit about that too, because I think that's a big part of this. Second question, probably for both of you guys, actually. I'm very curious on this, but what is the most amount of money you've made on a single sports bet, and what prompted you to make that bet?
This, I don't know if this one's gonna count, but I guess a few months ago when we were on day 9 of the ladder challenge and we had like $2,500, we got from $10 to $2,500, placed it on a plus 100 NBA parlay, hit, so we were at 5,000. So going to 25 to 5,000 is pretty sick. Unfortunately, losing it a day later, trying to go from 5,000 to 10,000 wasn't as exciting. But in the moment, we had 24 hours of pure excitement after, for sure.
Wow. So the return on that was 2,500. So it's 25
Yeah.
to win.
Yeah, well, technically it was $10 to 5,000 over the 9 days. But when we got that day 9, I remember Karl Anthony Towns, I think, had like a rebound at halftime, and I think we needed 6 from him, and just starts rebound monster in the third quarter and just gets it done after it was looking pretty bleak.
Yeah, that call you gave him at halftime probably got his butt into your head.
You heard what I was saying.
Yeah. David, what about you?
I was with Dre on that. Riding that ladder challenge together is some of the most intense times we've ever had in our betting careers. I think that day 9 to day 10, and we're forever thinking about day 10 with Chet, not getting that second assist, but we will be back. We will climb again. But day
We'll climb
9,
again.
day 9, I think sets the bar. I do have a future bet right now for the Kansas City Chiefs parlayed with the Celtics. So if the Celtics win it all, could be pretty nice, but nothing beats day 9.
Chiefs Super Bowl.
Yeah, I placed it back in what was it, like September? It was before the NFL season started. I love Mahomes, and then Celtics was pure heart. So
Wow.
kind of got lucky with that a little bit, but we'll see where it goes. Nothing's over yet. But day 9, the intensity and the amounts, that's number one.
Spoken like a true sports bettor, making sure that you are, very, very experienced, making sure you're not overstating anything to potentially jinx.
We've learned that the hard. We've learned that's a hard way too many times, Ryan. Let me tell you, nothing is guaranteed in this world. We've learned.
All out injuries, like I can't even. My mind starts swirling when I even start thinking about some of the bad beats.
Not even to like tangent off right now, but the one time where that really hit was like when we first were starting the cafe and we had the Chiefs, and we had Chiefs money line on a parlay. Every leg cleared by like the first quarter. All we needed was the Chiefs to win. Chiefs with like 11 minutes left, they're up 2 touchdowns. And we're like laughing. We're like, oh, we almost wish it was more intense, dude. 4 minutes go by, Chiefs let up a touchdown. We're like, okay. Chiefs let up another touchdown. Chiefs lose by a field goal. We just went home silently in Ubers.
That's no talking for a week.
No. We had
We'll get it back. But I actually think I remember that game.
And we were just like, it was after that because we were laughing, being like, oh, like this is, it's too easy. And then, years ago, you start to learn from that and never again.
Yeah, that's so my co-founder Dash, who you guys have met, is a very religious sports bettor. And when I say religious, in the sense that he does it a lot, but also he's very superstitious. So he will not say anything if you're getting anywhere close to an outcome. It's just quiet. Just quiet. It's fun watching the game with you, or like, what are we doing here? But it's this, and you guys have experienced that. We've all experienced it. It's just kind of part of the course at this point.
Definitely. Many times people will be like, people will be like, what do you need? I'm like, oh, I need this guy to get one more rebound. Like, I'm freaking out. They'll be like, dude, it's the second quarter. What are you worrying about? Like, you have no idea. I've seen too many bad things happen in my life. You'd be surprised. Something could happen.
I love that.
Happens.
Like, there's more than half the game left, and they're just.
Yeah. I'm like, trust me, I've been hurt too many times.
You got mentioned. You mentioned bad beats. I don't know if this is top of mind for you guys. It wasn't in my script, but I am curious. What when we think back beats, is that one's pretty bad. The Chiefs one, that's tough.
Chiefs was bad. I think, not to reuse the day 9 story, Dre, but that's probably our day 10, I should say. I mean, Dre, do you want to explain the exact situation? It was Chet Holmgren, and all we needed was one assist, and it was $10,000.
He ended on 0, I think. He ended on 0.
Start from the top. I want to make sure we get the full story here. Let's paint it. I want to put myself in the sweaty clothes of the Parlay Cafe right now.
Corey.
I'm trying to think of, I guess that day 10 run, we needed Chet Holmgren to get 2+ assists. We could have taken him for, I think he ended with like 25. He like doubled his points and his rebounds line, but just did not dish the ball. And every time he found his teammates would just rattle off the rim, and we were all sitting in our living room just freaking out. And I think Zion didn't end up playing. Zion was supposed to be playing for the Pelicans, so we figured he'd kind of lock up the paint, and so Chet would be forced to dish the ball out to people on the 3-point line. But instead, he just got to the rim so easily against Valanciunas every single time. But yeah, no, that was just brutal.
And I remember going to Dre's apartment at the time, and it was like a big event. We're like day 10, we're getting there, we're getting food, like let's gear up. And it was a 4-leg parlay, I believe, Dre, and all 3 of the legs had already hit in the earlier game. So we really, at halftime, easily cleared. So we sat down for the Thunder game, being like, Chet, 2 assists. He had hit it in like X amount of straight games. Like, we were like, this could be it. This could be our big break. And just watching, like, okay, we've got a quarter down, and then we got like 2 quarters down, and then we're like, oh my god, dude, this might actually be the tank of us. I remember that being like traumatizing in a way.
The moment when you
It's
realize.
so much worse to see him go for like 20 points and like 10 rebounds. He was just doing everything. It was like probably one of his best
Yeah, he
games.
has one of the best games ever.
His
He's put up
stat sheet's
so
looking
many
insane,
points.
except for the one statistic you guys actually.
Exactly.
The absolute worst.
Yeah, that's
We
a
were
tough
thinking
one.
about making a bad beats montage actually,
Either
just because we save a lot of them,
too many
and
to count.
yeah, but it just keeps growing. Be a
I
long
think
montage at this point. That might be a movie.
Yeah, we need like a hard drive for all that footage.
that's one of the things with the ladder challenge, though, is like once you get up there towards the top of the ladder, almost everything's gonna be a bad beat because there's just like so much riding on it.
Well, I mean, you figure it's like 9 different like 4-leg plus parlays. So it's like we made it through like 39 legs,
Yeah.
right? So we're on like the 40th leg.
Yeah.
And we decide to get 2 assists. And he just doesn't fall through. The absolute worst.
Oh, brutal. All right, so what we talked a lot about the stuff that you guys, obviously things you've bet on and what you've made. What's the craziest thing you've spent your winnings on? Have you guys done anything just impulsive or wacko? Tell me more about that.
Dre, you want to start?
I'm trying to think of anything absolutely wacko that I've done. I feel like a lot of the times I'll instantly like buy the jersey of the player that pulled through for us. I've started doing that.
That's a good
Like
one.
the player has like an epic, like doesn't look like he was gonna get it, pulls through in the end, or just absolutely clutches it. I'm like, need to get this guy's jersey, not
Yep.
only because now I want to have it, but then we could throw it in the video. And I feel like then we're just building up the collection of sort of all the cafe MVPs. Like we got Luca, even though we let us down last night. Actually, we got Tatum over there. Siakam. I was gonna grab a Siakam jersey the other day, then realized he's going into free agency. So who knows if he'll still be on the Pacers next season. Just waiting it out for that, but love again the jersey of the player that gets the job done on the parlay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm with Dre. I feel like I almost like to roll together, like I don't see myself always really, taking the money and going on my own and being like shopping spree or something. It's a sort of like me and Dre. I like to ride with Dre. Whatever we kind of see fit, I ride with.
Now I'm shocked, David. I figured you'd go on shopping sprees every weekend.
No, judging by my high intense fashion sense,
Great fashion. Just an excellent wardrobe. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's been some bar tabs, when we go for a good happy hour, and
Yes.
looking at each other and just being like, all right, we got this,
Yeah.
Don't have-
We earned it.
Yeah, exactly. Some good eats, good laughs, good times, good jerseys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. So you guys cash a big ticket and the player came through, you buy the jersey.
Exactly.
100%.
Love that. That's a good routine you guys could get into for the whole cafe. Is like someone comes through, 10 people get a jersey. That's awesome.
Yeah, we do that kind of sometimes. We do jersey giveaways.
We do a community ladder challenge contest every month. So basically, everyone starts on day 1.
Mm.
They send a parlay into the channel for it. If your parlay hits, you send the winning slip into that day 1 channel, and then you go on to day 2. We open a day 2 channel. It goes on day after day until there's one person standing, and the winner gets like $200 and any jersey of their choice. Second and third gets a prize as well. It's a lot of fun, not only because you get to see who makes it to the end, who wins. And they're loving it, but everyone kind of gets to see, oh, this person's won 5 in a row. I'm going to tail them tonight. Clearly, they're hot and know what they're talking about, and it kind of highlights people in the community, which is sort of just a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and seeing where some of the communities like based out of, and seeing what could you get a jersey of your choice. So some of the jerseys we get are really interesting asks.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask. What is the weirdest, like most random jersey that you guys heard?
I think it was it might have been out of Chicago, Dre, wasn't it? It was like an offensive tackle or something for the Chicago Bears, and we're like, okay.
You guys is Lewis in the Parlay Cafe?
Maybe.
I know, right?
Might have been Lewis. Lewis is my co-founder, born and raised Chicago. We did you guys will do this soon, but we did a numbers challenge. So basically name a player with the number from like 0 to 100, as many as you can get in 60 seconds. And it was like, I think Lewis got to 17 and 16 of them were like Chicago athletes. Like he couldn't think of anything else. And it was like most obscure. Like how do you even get 0 to 17 on just purely Chicago people? But
I'm pretty sure the guy that won it every single parlay, like every single leg was a Chicago-based player on one of the Chicago teams too. So like it all kind of added up.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Then he was going with the theme. He wanted to keep it local to the Midwest. That's great.
Totally.
Nice. All right, so I'm gonna jump into second to last section, which is the kind of keeping it real part of the pod. And I got a couple questions for you guys. Number one, I'll be the first to admit that running a business is very stressful. It's not easy. You guys have the unique lens with your business that you create a lot of content. So in addition to having a subscription business that you're maintaining and continuing to grow and working with your technology partner to do so day in and day out, you guys are also creating a ton of content. What do you guys do to relieve the stress? Like, what do you do for fun? Tell me about yourselves personally.
Well, honestly, like creating the content, I think is just like a fun thing. That's almost something we enjoy the most, I'd say. Like I was got into TikTok and Instagram and making videos, sort of just doing comedy skits during COVID. I was literally like locked up in my room and like started making like finance-based comedy skits like AMC and GameStop, and they started kind of taking off. So doing that in sports just seemed like the perfect thing to do because we're watching sports, love making content. So like before we even launched the Dub Club, we were just doing it for almost a year before we launched the Dub Club, just posting videos every day because we love it. So I feel like that isn't even too stressful. I mean, I'd say the most stressful part is sweating out the bets themselves as opposed to making the content. But me and Dave, I mean, we definitely are out here in New York. We have a bunch of friends, get together, hit some restaurants, hit some bars, get outside as much as we can in the city, hit the park, hit the gym all the time. Yeah. Dave, what do you have to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think Dre, honestly, I'd like his answer. It's unique and it's true. If you even look at one of the first videos we posted on the Parlay Cafe, it's a skit of Dre and I. It has nothing to, it's like not, it's no bets or anything. It's just like us, because Dre, we used to just like, if it was like Saturday or Sunday, have fun, make like a skit, see if we could go viral on TikTok. And to us, that's fun, thinking of the idea. We love sketch comedy like SNL.
Yeah.
So when we weren't doing that, we would be, watching sports and sports betting. So we kind of combined the two ideas pretty organically, and we had fun doing it. I'd say outside of that, like Dre said, we like to go out, have fun, go in the city, adventure, explore, love trying new restaurants, and yeah, we both play sports. Dre's really good at soccer. He's being modest. He's really good. I play hockey. I rollerblade around the city everywhere. People get rattled by it, but I gotta stay
People in New
true.
York have definitely seen Dave rollerblading right by him many times.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
love blading.
Dave, I didn't realize you're a big rollerblader. That's one way.
Yeah, lifelong
Very
lifelong
cost
hockey
effective.
player. Yeah, it really is. It's, efficient, cost effective, and it's fun. I mean, like my roommate and I, we grew up playing hockey together in Boston way back, like even when we were like 5 years old. So not as much ice in the city, so you got to turn to the pavement, and it's good. It's stress relieving, especially with the nice weather.
Love it. How do you guys think about, you talked a little bit about your team as we think about back to business. How do you guys think about like the dynamic of having the partnership that you two have? It's very unique. What do you think that means for the longevity of the Parlay Cafe, managing burnout, kind of leaning on each other? Like talk a little bit about how you guys kind of divvy up responsibility and how the partnership works.
I feel like sort of it's pretty smooth just because like we kind of are just watching sports together already and already just kind of talking to each other on a daily basis just because we're friends. We're just kind of just go with the flow, see what we're feeling. Like if we're burnt out, we kind of look to the other person and talk it out, which I think helps a lot being friends and everything. Yeah, it just all seems pretty natural just because like we were watching all these games together. The content just came through that. We're like, we might as well post the parlay we're riding to everybody. Why not? We're gonna be watching this game and we bet on this. But I feel like we divvy up the responsibilities pretty well, and that makes it way more manageable because we're both love growing this equally. So definitely makes it a lot easier to have someone that has the same kind of long-term vision, especially when they're like such a good friend of yours.
Yeah, I think like Dre said. I mean, Dre and I been friends decade plus, lived together. Like we've seen every side. So now entering the business world, it's almost been a growing experience. And we just do a great job. We have a great dynamic. And it comes easy. And we're very transparent with one another. If, like you said, if we are burnt out or like if we aren't, I'll sometimes say an idea to Dre and he's like, I don't know if that's the move. Like he'll let me know and keep me in check. Whereas I feel like if you're not as close with someone, maybe they ride with it and it's not an idea they love, and you kind of go into this vision that doesn't make sense. We're just fully transparent at all times, and I think that like is because we're comfortable with each other, and it brings the ideas to life.
Yeah, and I think that serves you guys really well because I've seen it myself in my experience. You've met both Lewis and Dash, my two co-founders. I've known Dash since we were kids, and Lewis I played football with at Stanford. And I kid you not, the amount of times where we've just looked at each other in the eye and asked, like, what the F are you doing? Like, it's like we're just real with each other, and there's no beating around the bush, and that helps. It helps cut through the noise and just makes things more efficient, and it ultimately allows you to make more progress, which is what everybody cares about. And you guys are doing an awesome job iterating together, and it's super fun to tag along. That gets me to my probably my favorite question for you guys in particular. We have two sets of questions left. Number one, we talked a lot about cooking up parlays. Is there anything on the menu that we should be aware of?
The menu, I think we're looking towards the NBA Finals tomorrow, right, Dave?
Yep.
I think maybe that's our next
Yeah.
into for sure, which sadly could be the last game of the NBA season, which we're gonna hate to see. I don't know what we're gonna depend on because we're disappointed. Luka and Tatum did not pull through for rebounds yesterday, so I don't know if we can go back to them. Who are we gonna count on? I don't know. We're gonna see maybe Al Horford to step up with Porzingis out.
Maybe some Derek White action. It could be some Derek White, maybe. But he burned us a little bit. But like we said, sometimes we get burned, they come back harder. But I
feel
also
like every time we go with someone, they let us down. They just go off the next like 5 games in a row, which we've seen many times.
yeah. And that's like the immediate future. And then I'd say our like as far as our once we get through NBA season, and Stanley Cup finals and everything, we're really looking forward to the tentpole of NFL kickoff. I think the fall's going to be crazy. We have so much planned. And with the rosters changing in the NFL, there's going to be some crazy team matchups. I'm really excited for the fall, especially like what Trey and I have been ideating behind the scenes. Because last year we started the cafe in DubClub like towards the end of the NFL season. We haven't had a full window, so we're really going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, especially like those months like October, November, December, January, when you've got NFL and NBA going at the same time, which are by far like the number 2 sports we do on the cafe.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be exciting because it'll be our first time really having the Dub Club and the Discord during that time. So it's gonna be
a lot planned for the fall.
Yeah, that's when things crescendo. That's gonna be really exciting. We also have a ton of awesome product stuff that you guys are gonna love. You two in particular. I'm very excited.
Let's go.
Very excited about that. Maybe we'll do another session at the end of the summer where some of it's coming into play. We'll see. But last question for you guys, and then I'll let you go because you went way over time, and I appreciate you. What advice do you guys have for sports bettors, like regular, consistent people that bet every week, which there's 40 million of them in the U.S. that bet every week on sports? What advice do you have for them?
I think maybe just don't get too down if you're on a losing streak, because we've seen many times, even when you're losing, it always kind of turns around, and usually just go on an absolute heater. I'd say never get too emotional about it, which I feel like at times we can. And I think what helps a lot of the times is to have a community to sort of go and watch the bets, whether that's through a Discord or a Dub Club or just with your friends, which I think betting with your friends is way more fun, and finding people to ride along the parlay with is sort of the best. And just have fun with it, really. I mean, it all started the cafe because we found that having a parlay made it way more fun to watch the games, and I think that's really what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think having fun at the end of the day is what it's all about. It's an entertainment purpose, and we're gonna watch the game anyway. So if we're confident enough in what we think is gonna happen, why not try to get paid for watching the sport itself? And I'd say number one advice would be, it's not how much you bet, it's how much you win. We have some friends who will be like, oh, I just threw X hundred on this, it's going to return this, versus our other friend who maybe bet like 20 to win 30, It's not as an attractive slip, but the guy who swung and missed on a haymaker 100 walks away with 0, and the guy that bet 20 and makes 30, he's the one profiting. So don't get too hyped up in the numbers, and just have fun with it.
Love it. Discipline, consistency, level-headedness. Traits that you guys have, which I hope everybody can emulate when they listen.